Hello. Uh, Welcome to our first live episode of Salem by Night, titled 2.1 Blood of the Covenant. This is a game of Vampire the Masquerade, and as such, it is a horror story. We will explore some topics which may be sensitive or traumatic in some cases. If at any time you feel uncomfortable with the role play that we're doing, feel free to take a step back, leave, come back when you feel better. We're all friends here. We all love each other very much. And this is role playing, this is acting. We are having fun. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to our vampires this evening. Starting with Dimitri.
Hello, I'm playing Dimitri Valtieri. I am a 13th generation Ravnos kindred. Uh, he's kind of a scrawny but, strong built guy, a transmasculine vampire in this day and age, with long black hair, blue eyes, and most prominently, two silver sheaths over his fangs. And he looks like what you would imagine if the 2000s emo scene threw up on a person.
And next we have Ruby.
Hi, I play Ruby. She is 12th generation Bruja, and she has straight brown hair, brown eyes, athletic build. She's about 5'9", and she is dressed like a biker chick. Black leather jacket, uh, jeans or leather pants, depending on where she's going. And she owns a garage, so there's probably grease smeared somewhere on.
And lastly, we have Benji.
Hello, I play Benji. Benji is our 10th generation Malkavian. He's a tall, lanky fellow, kind of gaunt face, curly hair and a beard. He's always dressed pretty smart. He's a photojournalist by trade. And he is grappling with some extreme anxiety in literally every facet of his life. And he might probably be smeared with hand sanitizer.
And these three kindred all exist in a region of the East Coast centered around Salem, Massachusetts. A sort of contested and or ignored territory between areas controlled by the Camarilla and the Sabbat, a place where very few kindred exist. Those who go there because they want nothing to do with the kindred society at large. And the reason for that is the kindred are not the top dogs in Salem. There are many supernatural factions at large in the city, which makes it the perfect place for a solitary kindred to hide away, live their life quietly. Over the course of the last year that we've been playing this game off screen, we saw the group come together and get involved in the investigation of a series of killings. They eventually uncovered that the victims of this killer had something in common. They were all changelings. And though some of the heat was kind of put on the kindred as to being responsible, turned out that it was another type of changeling, an unseelie creature, which was doing the murders. And they were able to strike a deal with the local changelings to keep blood off of the Sealy Court's hands. They would deal with this monster, and they did, with the help of a mortal FBI agent who'd recently been taken from her position and forced into the service of a group calling themselves the Co-op, a group of paranormal hunters. And when we left off, Dimitri had been called away. He had another job to take care of. Ruby had a bad night in dealing with this ghast. It caused her fear. It caused her to not be able to be the savior of the group, the warrior, until getting the very last blow, fortunately. She had left to work off some of her Bruja rage. And Benji found himself alone with Dimitri's ghouled dog, old bastard, healing his wounds, trying to piece together fragments of memories of the night, since he himself had been victim of some of this ghast's mental manipulations. When he was struck with a wooden crossbow bolt through the heart from behind, having disabled his anti-mortal security measures within his haven earlier to allow Agent Abby Sharp access, he inadvertently allowed access to seemingly those who had conscripted her. And he was dragged off. And we rejoin our vampires in a dark alley behind a local dive bar. Ruby Eastman has just beaten this one person to a pulp, drained them nearly dead, but left them just enough that they'll live. And you're sort of blood on your knuckles, maybe on your face a little bit too. Just now sort of reeling back from that feeding that quelled your rage. And I'd like you to go ahead and make a rouse check for me.
9.
All right. Your hunger is sated and your rage is quelled. I believe you're at 1 hunger.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear down at the end of the alley, slow clap.
Slowly turning and looking.
You see a dark figure silhouetted at the end of the alleyway. And a voice calls out, a voice that you haven't heard in decades. Voice you recognize as your sire's sire, sort of boss of the region you came up in. You hear the voice of the Baron of downtown Los Angeles, Nines Rodriguez.
Ooh.
And he says, "Remind me not to get on your bad side, Miss Eastman."
Well, it's been a bad night.
He says, "Seems to be. You
I'm
need
I'm
to
gonna
talk
rip.
about it?"
No. But I'm gonna rip a piece of the guy just beats clothing so I can wipe up my face and my hands.
And he kind of observes you cleaning yourself up. He says, "You know, making my way to this area, I was summoned a few of the barons to advise some of the local startups. I'm sure you've heard of the barony in Lawrence, a few miles to the west.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing this one name, Ruby Eastman.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are even saying Baron Ruby Eastman."
Nah. We got a council. It's a free council for anyone who wants to join it.
Well, you got your ambitions, that's how it starts, but the other kindred, they're talking. They have their ideas.
Hmm.
And you're very close to the ivory tower here.
Kinda.
And I don't know if you've met Jean-Marie, but she may seem polite, but she's a power player. If she sees a challenger or a vacuum of power, I guarantee you she's going to make a move.
I think we'll be able to handle it. I've got my own people now too, so
Of course you do. I always pegged you for leadership position.
well,
Me and Tom both.
medium fish in our medium-sized pond.
But that's how it starts, isn't it?
You are the Baron, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's right, I'm the Baron. Well, I'll be in the area for a few nights. If you need anything, get in touch.
Will do.
And,
Thank you.
Stay safe and watch your back.
Thanks, Nines, I will. You too.
And he sort of slinks back from whence he came. Unexpected visitor. Closest thing to a Bruja elder you've probably ever known.
Nah, not a Baron. Okay, I'm gonna get on my bike and head back to the shelter.
So you kick the engine and start roaring through the streets. And we shift the scene to another bike heading north on the highway, having just completed another successful bit of wet work. Dimitri Valtieri. Tonight has been a strange night for you. You realize it's past midnight. You're into the day that you've been trying not to think about, but it's a distraction. 200 years, your bicentennial. What are you thinking? Where are you heading?
Instinctually, I think his destination is predetermined. He can't seem to shake this feeling that another century passed, yet he feels as if this curse, this hellish existence he's had just started mere moments ago, and the same voice he always hears kind of lingers, but I think especially on this day, that cold iron cross feels especially heavy on his chest tonight.
And as you roll your bike into a parking lot, sort of idling sounds. You've parked in the empty lot of a Catholic church. A small chapel, actually, is a better description of it. And do you enter through the front doors or in through the back entrance?
Definitely through the back entrance. He's already, as he dismounts his bike, he's plucking a cigarette from the inner part of his jacket, lighting it, and in his other hand, he's clutching his trusty flask. Already unfidgeting the cap with 2 fingers as he approaches.
The door's unlocked, as it usually is.
With a few long drags, the cigarette's pretty sniped, so he'll toss it to the ground, stepping on it to prevent any forest fires, before taking a long swig of the, well, I feel like it'd be on the nose to say vodka, but probably some sort of clear liquor, before walking in.
That's right, Dimitri has the merit eat food, which allows him to stomach things that other kindred normally can't. And the alcohol holdover from your mortal life has always been your coping mechanism, your almost comfort. And you enter into the back office of the church. The lights are out. You see the priest's keys are there on the desk, so you know he's here somewhere.
Following through the office, he'll go straight through into, assumedly the main part of the chapel, in search of the only one who seems to make sense of a world so far beyond his understanding.
And normally you meet him in the confessional, but there's no one else in the building right now, and you see him sitting on the sort of stepped platform that holds the altar in front of the pews, just sort of sitting there on the steps. And his head turns and acknowledges you. He says, "It was a lot quicker than I expected." And he sort of reaches into his coat pocket and pulls out a thick envelope. And he goes to stand.
Instinctually, he'll kind of offer an arm, despite, clearly this man is more than capable of standing on his own. He was raised in a certain way that a certain familial comfort comes to being in the Catholic Church, and to that his old habits come forth. As he kind of ushers his arm over to help the priest stand, and he hesitates accepting the envelope before pushing it back towards him. Consider it a favor for this time.
He says, "You know this money's not mine. You did the job, right?"
Surely a man of good faith will put money made from blood in better use. And there's no need to worry, the job is most certainly done.
He non-reverently tosses the heavy envelope onto the corner of the altar. And he says, Dimitri, you look haunted.
2 centuries today. And he
2
takes
centuries.
a long swig of his flask.
And you notice now there's a bottle of wine sort of stashed on the floor next to the altar. And he bends down and grabs the bottle. He says, a toast then?
This is why...
He unscrews the cheap wine cap.
This is why we are good friends, Father. But a celebration is not how I describe today.
He says, I'm perhaps awake. And you can call me Dante. We've known each other long enough. He pours 2 glasses, sets the bottle down, and hands you one.
He'll take it, and without hesitation...
To bicentennials.
To another bicentennial.
When you drink the wine, Dimitri, you don't even have to roll for it. You immediately, this is not wine. This is warm, rich, dense vampire vitae. You didn't smell it in the glass. It smelled like wine. It looked like he was pouring wine. He looks like he is drinking wine, but you are drinking vitae out of this glass. Give me a wits and awareness roll.
Yeet. That's numbers. That's numbers.
That should be 9 dice for you.
Okay, that makes life easier because I was still trying to figure it out. Been a minute. 4 successes.
Do you drink the rest of the vitae? It's hard to resist. It's better than anything you've had in recent nights.
Instinctually, he downs it after the first sip. But after a moment, his hands start to shake. And instinctually, he almost throws the glass to the ground at his feet. And his eyes turn towards the father.
As you make eye contact with that awareness roll, you see not the eyes of a man, but this sort of pale yellow sclera, red iris, and vertical slit pupil of some unnatural thing. Just for a moment, he blinks and it's away.
He steps back, and at this point the trembling has almost fully taken over. What sick fucking joke are you running here?
Just trying to offer some comfort in a way that I know will help you.
Help? Help? That's what you call help?
It's what you need, isn't it? I've been watching over you for longer than you are aware, because you're a good person, Dimitri. No matter what you think of yourself, you do good things. You're not the monster. You're the one that fights back the monsters. Protector of the innocent. And you should be proud.
I am only this way because I have killed the innocent. I have hurt everyone I've ever known. And I truly fear there's no redemption for any of it.
Redemption. He has a somber look on his face. And he reaches out and puts his hand on your face. And he says, if I know anyone worthy of redemption, it's you. And he brings your face close. And he kisses you on the lips. And we cut to Ruby. Just arriving in the alleyway. The entrance of the bomb shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Your haven, your shared haven. And immediately you notice something's wrong. You see the door is partially ajar.
Oh, no.
And make a wits and awareness roll. So for you, that's 4 dice,
Yep.
I believe.
3 successes.
Okay.
2
You can
nones.
hear a deep scratching somewhere on the inside, and the clattering of pebbles, it sounds like, or broken concrete, and the haggard whine of a dog
Okay.
in pain or struggling.
Take out my blackjack and flick it open. And then I'm gonna slowly open the door and go down the stairs. And peek around the corner.
Halfway up the stairs, with one singular paw dragging himself up the stairway, you see OB.
Oh.
There's blood coming from his neck, and it seems like his back quarters are just dragging behind him. But he sees you, and his sort of shoulder starts wiggling, as though he would be trying to wag his tail.
Crap! Run down the stairs and look him over.
There's a crossbow bolt, like, through his neck, shoulder, and into his spine.
Oh,
God.
oh shit. And pat him on his head. Sit tight. I'll be right back. Because I know Benji was there. I think Dimitri went out. I'm gonna start running through the bomb shelter, trying
Down
to
into the
look
bunker?
for anyone. Yeah, trying
You
to
can
find
follow
anyone.
the trail of blood from Old Bastard all the way to the sort of down the hallway into the sort of storage area near the back, past the bedrooms. And go ahead and make wits and investigation check for me.
That's just 1 success.
You rush through, and you don't immediately see Benji. You can follow the blood trail, the drag marks. Do you check the rooms?
Yeah, I'm checking everywhere.
You open each door in turn. It takes you maybe 5 minutes to give the place a once through. even flick the lights on in the dark room. He's nowhere. No one's down here.
Okay. I'm gonna start looking at the floor. If the dog left a trail, is there anything else on the floor that I can see? Or was that the investigation roll?
With that investigation check, I'll say you can see that you can differentiate between the drag marks that the dog left behind, and there seems to be another sort of set of heavier drag marks that lead partially down the hallway and then stop.
Okay. Taking out my
Almost
phone.
dragged and lifted.
I'm gonna call Benji.
You hear Benji's phone ringing in the dark hallway.
Go pick it up.
It's just sitting there on the ground.
Okay, hanging up, calling Dimitri.
Dimitri, you're having this surprising moment with Father Dante, and your phone rings.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay, obviously he's gonna kind of part them a little bit here. Probably at that point he was probably getting into it. Like, I imagine he was initially caught off guard and shocked, but now he's like, well, hot damn. Alright, this is what we're doing, champ. But he'll take a break and kind of look down to his phone and mumble, maybe in that little Elysian tongue he likes. Motherfucker, what does she want? Kind of flip it open, and put it on speaker as he leans into the preacher. Yes, Ruby. I'm kind of busy right now.
Benji's gone. Old bastard's got something, some kind of arrow, wooden thing sticking through him. Benji's gone.
Gone? What do you mean gone? Like,
I found his phone. He's not here. I'm at the bomb shelter.
and in that moment, like, everything just runs cold in him, and
Dante says, "Work of a hero is never done, is it?"
only one thought is coming to his mind. And he looks to the father, and he gives a somber but honest smile. I guess, your savior needs to go do some more saving. Before kind of placing a quick peck on the side of his cheek and scurrying off back the way he came. And as he kind of turns aside, he turns the phone back off speaker and presses it to his ear. And in what is borderline an animalistic growl, he goes, "We're going to kill that bitch."
Meet you there.
It snaps shut, and you just hear the doors slam open in the back of the chapel. And before, he could even think about it, he's on Bella and, turning the engine over as the tires squeal against the pavement as he burns out of there.
And we cut back to Ruby on the other side of the phone after Dimitri hangs up.
Okay, hang up. Yeah, I've got Benji's phone in my pocket. I put my phone down. I'm next to old bastard, kind of like patting his head. Buddy, this is gonna hurt. And I rip the crossbow bolt out of his
And there's
side.
that horrible whining shriek.
Yeah.
And a spurt of blood.
Mm-hmm.
If this was a regular mortal dog, he'd be long gone.
Yeah.
But being a ghoul, there's a chance.
Yeah. I'm gonna run to wherever Benji keeps like the first aid stuff
Hmm.
and like try to wrap bandages around old bastard so he doesn't like bleed out.
Hmm. Make a couple of rolls for me. Well, you don't have medicine. So go ahead and make, let's say, a just straight dexterity roll.
Come on, Ruby. We need you to save OB.
2 successes. One of them's a
Okay.
10.
So you're able to bandage up the entry and exit wounds as best you can, and keep pressure on the whole area. And make an intelligence and occult roll for me.
One success.
One is enough to know that an injured ghoul needs vitae. You could accelerate the healing with your own vitae, should you choose.
I don't want to do that. This is Dimitri's dog. I'm gonna run and grab a blood bag,
Hmm.
kind of like rip it open and feed it to old bastard.
He doesn't seem to want to take the mortal blood.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay, well, he's bandaged up. He will heal even if it's slowly. I'm gonna pick him up, put him on his bed that he probably never uses.
mhm.
And I will be back. Dimitri will be back and he'll get you right. We gotta go. Or I gotta go. And I'm just running out and jumping on Rosie, gunning it, going to the Hawthorne.
Do you leave the bomb shelter unlocked, or do you lock it up?
I lock it.
All right. So, cut to the two of you arriving at the outside of the Hawthorne Hotel. Ruby probably gets there a couple minutes before Dimitri, but you weren't that far away.
The second his bike stops, he barely has time to kick down the stand. He nearly throws this bitch onto her side. And if this was like a cartoon, there would literally be smoke pouring out of his ears. He is straight fuming. And he looks to Ruby and kind of, without speaking, it kind of goes, "We have someone to pay a visit to."
Mm-hmm.
And just proceeds to march through the door.
Yep, following. And I still got the thing that was an old bastard.
The bolt,
Oh God!
basically a wooden stake, a little bit thinner.
Hey, we know Ruby doesn't need anything but her fists.
Well, not with the mortal anyway.
By now, it's pretty late in the night too. You're looking at about 3:30 a.m. by the time the two of you convene. And thusly, the lobby of the Hawthorne is basically empty.
Yep.
You head straight for Abby Sharp's room.
Yep. Running up the stairs.
Yup.
Not waiting for the elevator.
As Dimitri's following, he's gonna be pulling the revolver from behind his waistband and having it ready.
as the two of you exit the stairwell onto the second floor, see standing there before you your friend, the kindred who holds domain over this hotel, your neighbor, Howard. And he says, "A little late for a visit, wouldn't you say?"
It is, but necessary. And just gonna walk past him and find Abby's room.
Make a it's a willpower roll. Roll your unspent willpower for me. Both of you.
Damn. That was a choice.
1.
I thought 6. So I actually succeeded because I only have 1.
It's one success each. Unfortunately, that's not enough. The two of you try to press your way forward past Howard, and you find yourself just walking and walking. The hallway keeps having one more step, and you don't seem to be getting anywhere. And he's
What
just
the
sort of
fuck?
standing there.
Howard, let
Says,
us by.
We ain't got tricks, old man. There's a man's life at stake. And that one knows where he is.
"There are rules, you know, about entering another one's haven. And as you know, all guests at this hotel are under my protection.
Howard?
So if you have ill intent for one of my guests, I would kindly ask that you calmly explain the reason for your visit."
She took Benji. And God only knows what she plans to do with him. Pretty sure she's the one that ratted us out to the whatever those things are. She ain't who she seems, Howard.
Go ahead and roll for me manipulation and persuasion.
And
Include 1 hunger die for your hunger.
I have 2 hunger die.
I forgot to tell you to take away a hunger when you drank the Vitae.
Oh. Okay. I'll have to update that. 4 successes.
And you feel the sensation of like the lengthening of the hallway stop, the room, the blur of the hallway around you kind of reconstitutes. And his black eyes look very seriously and like lock with your eyes, Dimitri. And he says, "Is this the Second Inquisition?"
All I know is she was talking to somebody. Ain't that right, Ruby?
Yeah.
And now we come back and he's gone? You know that this isn't adding up. Kid could barely fend for himself and now they have him? And they left a hell of a mess at the shelter, too.
About that, you need to help old bastard when we get back, Dimitri.
Stupid dog.
Reading the situation, Howard steps aside and says, "I grant you permission to do with this mortal as you will." And
Great.
he gestures to her door,
And
which
running to
unlocks
the door.
and starts to swing open.
Oh, no, we ain't even need that! We ain't even need that! He's gonna look over to Ruby. Do you want to do the honors, or shall I?
By all means.
He kicks that damn door in. Just full force boot through the door.
Kicking the door in, her instincts kick in, and she immediately has her gun up and aimed at the door. You see her still dressed in sort of goth club attire, just like the two of you are. You can see her sort of makeup running down her face like she's been crying. And as soon as she sees that it's you, she lowers the gun and says, "Dimitri, what happened?"
You don't know. I'll act an innocent, and as he kind of steps through the threshold, he will raise his revolver to her. Tell me where you took him before I make your life much more miserable than you will ever could imagine.
She says, "Took who? I've been here for the last 2 hours." And she, looks around.
Ruby's, making a circle around her. Benji's gone. You know where he is.
Talking to your
Where
little
is he?
friends. You think we're stupid?
Ruby, make a manipulation intimidation roll and add a dice for Dimitri's assistance.
Five successes, 2 zeros, 2 10s.
All right. She's still holding the gun. She kind of slumps down and sits back on the corner of the bed and looks down. And she says, "Oh God, you're right. It's my fault. They took him. It's my fault. I didn't know. But you're right. I put you all in danger. You shouldn't have trusted me."
Where is he?
She says, "They've ruined my life, you know."
It's gonna get worse. Where is he?
She says, "You're not gonna like it.
Of course not.
It's a church hall, that kind of functions as a battered women's shelter, but lately it's been a bit of a orphanage for homeless kids. I can show you, but I can't promise that they won't have some sort of control over me."
He will step
They
forward.
went. She
Dimitri's
says,
gonna...
she still kind of has the gun and starts to raise it. But then she thinks better and sets it down. She says, do it. Do what you have to do. I deserve it. I deserve it."
He's gonna step forward. And for a moment, the end of his revolver is almost perfectly aligned with her chest. Like mere inches. How do we know you're not gonna betray us if we bring you there?
Says, she looks you in the eye. You can see the tears running down her face. She says, "You were talking about you had ways to control me. I consent. Do what you have to do. Whatever it is, I deserve it."
He kind of glances over to Ruby.
And Ruby just nods.
He's gonna slowly lower the gun and kind of place it to the side of Abby and kind of kneel to meet her at the level she's at. You are signing your life to something you don't know. I will ask once. Do you really wish for this existence, this torment? Is this the life or perhaps death you want?
They took my life from me. They took away my work. They sent my partner to the other side of the country. And I betrayed the only friends that I've made here. As soon as they put their faith in me, I deserve it.
He's gonna take a very big deep breath. And
She sort of
without,
cranes her neck.
without looking over to Ruby, as his gaze intently focuses on Abby and trying to kind of maintain that eye contact. Do you mind giving us a moment here? I just need a moment, if you will.
Okay. And I'm gonna step out into the hallway, leave the door open.
Howard kind of gives you a nod as you come out into the hallway. He's still there, quietly observing.
We're
At
bringing
this-
her into the fold.
Interesting choice.
At
Me
this
neither.
point, with Ruby now kind of out of the room and in front of someone he never thought ever would happen, Dimitri is openly weeping as he kind of stands and pulls Abby up from the bed and kind of into his arms. And in a tongue she wouldn't know, he speaks as he kind of leans in close. I'm so sorry, Claire. Before he sinks his silver sheathed fangs into her throat and begins the process of embracing.
Out in the hallway, Howard says, "The sun will be up soon. You have maybe an hour. What will you do with her?"
She will show us where Benji is. And then we'll decide after that.
Well, you'll all be safe here for the day.
Thank you.
There are facilities you may find more comfortable in the basement.
Okay. Thank you. And I'm just going to stand there until Dimitri gives me an all clear to go back in.
We'll end that scene there for now. As the sun outside rises over Salem's harbor. Somewhere a little ways to the west, underground basement level. One of those rooms with the high up little thin windows right at ground level. Almost looks like a classroom, maybe. There's those little desks with the chairs attached, sort of rowed up. Um, Benji, you are aware of the sunlight, sort of shaft of it, within your visual field, but you can't move, you can't do anything. The room almost feels unnaturally hot. But you're still there, paralyzed, staked, set, seemingly in a chair, you think, in this dingy basement, classroom, whatever it is. And you hear footsteps on concrete, like heels. And into your field of vision, blocking the sunlight, sort of silhouetted, is a young woman, dressed in a kind of dollar store chic sort of style.
What a good time for a break.
Yeah, we'll return to the stream in just a few minutes. Go ahead and cut. Hello. Welcome back. We had a moment of technical difficulties there, but it was about time for our break anyways. So we'll continue where we left off. Benji. This young woman enters the room. She's got a sort of manic energy about her. Particular type of individual that kind of triggers your own personal ick. Not very clean, not very cautious of space. She comes like right up to your face and kind of like gives you a look over, sort of straightens out your torn up vest that you'd borrowed from Dimitri the night before. She says, "They're gonna do such good for you here. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, I was like you, but now I'm better. I can even go out in the sunlight." She sort of like puts her hand through the shaft of light and lets it sort of play in the light there for a moment. She says, "What Reverend Michael does here, it's amazing work. Trust me, you'll be happier. It'll be okay, trust me." You're unable to respond, but go ahead and make intelligence and occult roll.
Four successes.
Based on everything you know, there's no way that this woman is telling the truth. You can't go back once you become a kindred, because you have to die. You're dead. And you don't come back from that. So this woman is sort of prattling on. She sits down at one of the desks and starts telling you about how Reverend Michael saved her. She sort of clutches at a crucifix necklace. And this seems to go on about, the saving light of God, Jesus, all that sort of stuff. And you're just trying your best to lock it out, but you're just trapped in a prison of your own consciousness. and all of this prattle is just frustrating you, in the heat, the anxiety of seeing the sun shaft slowly move around the room as the day progresses. Time seems to have no meaning to you. It stretches on and happens in an instant. You see this woman comes and goes throughout the day, always having something meaningless to say. And eventually the shaft of light has sort of made its circle around the room and started to turn a little orangey. When you hear another set of footsteps approaching the room, and a man walks in who you've never seen before. Black collared shirt, black pants. He's not wearing the white sort of priest's collar, but otherwise is dressed kind of like a priest. He's a young man, maybe mid-30s. He's got sort of darkening red hair, short cut, clean shaven. He has a big smile. He says, "Mr. Wilde, it is a pleasure to meet you. We've been watching you for some time now. We think that you are a prime candidate. What would you say if I told you I could offer you true salvation? Chance to take back the life you once had. Do you think that would be amenable? Is that something you would desire? I mean, who wouldn't? Person in your position. You're not like the others. You're not a killer. You've done so much to keep the seeming of your mortal life going for these past 20 years. It's admirable. And so, I'm going to take that bolt from your heart, Mr. Wilde, and we're going to have a conversation, okay? I don't think that you'll hurt me. So I'm going to put my faith in you in hopes that you can put your faith in me. And he leans over you, and reaches behind you, and you can feel the stake being pulled slowly at first, and then it gets to that sort of precipice moment, and he yanks it out the rest of the way and takes a step back. Go ahead and make 3 rouse checks for me.
Boy. All right. 3 rouse checks.
Mm-hmm.
1 sec. First one's a fail.
Okay.
Second one's a fail.
Okay.
Third one succeeds.
Okay. You come out of this at 4 hunger.
Damn, okay.
But you're able to maintain your hold on frenzy in this moment. But who knows for how long? What do you do as you feel your senses come to?
Okay, I've been able to perceive. I just want to...
Mm-hmm.
Do I have any recollection of coming to this place? And like, I want to do the thing where, you know, you're trapped in the back of the car with the hood over your head, but you know how many left turns you took, and you might know where you are.
Okay. I would say, wits and streetwise. It's a high difficulty, though. Call this a difficulty 6.
Can I spend some willpower? Oh no, I don't have any.
Oh my god.
All right.
You have to
never
regain
mind.
some.
Yeah, okay. I got 5 successes, so no.
As far as you can tell, it didn't seem like it was a long drive. You're
Okay.
probably still in the Salem area, maybe not in Salem itself. You could be in Peabody, Beverly, Swampscott, one of the neighboring towns, maybe Danvers. It's hard to tell.
Okay. Got it.
He says, sorry, where are my manners? My name is Michael. It's nice to meet you, Benjamin.
Can I also ask one more question for Storyteller? How does it feel? Like, I know I have 1 aggravated damage, I think, from the bolts,
Mm-hmm.
and 4 hunger, so I understand those things. Does torpor cause any other physical feelings?
If you were in torpor for much longer, there would have been more difficulty rousing from it.
Okay.
Sometimes you need vampire vitae to be roused from torpor, but you were only under for a few hours, as far as you can tell.
Okay.
Less than a day.
Okay, understood. Okay, so after he introduces himself, am I tied down at all?
Yes,
Okay.
you are.
Please let me go. Please let me go. Please, and I clock like the open, or I guess any of those windows that you mentioned up high in the like ground level open.
They don't seem like the kind that can open. They're like
All
sort
right.
of glass squares set in concrete.
Seeing them there anyway. Help! Somebody help! Please, you have to let me go.
No one's
I
going to
can't be
hear
down
you.
here anymore. I can't be
Wow.
down here anymore.
It's okay. We want to
It's
help
not
you.
okay. You fucking took me.
We took
Tied
you
to
so
a
that we could
fucking
save you.
chair. So you could save me?
He says, that's right. And he opens up a small leather bag that's sitting on a desk next to him and pulls out a syringe with some kind of
No.
dark fluid in it.
No.
He says, this won't hurt.
Stay the fuck away from me.
He reaches in
Help!
and injects it into your
No!
neck.
No!
Go ahead and roll your resolve and composure.
Okay, I have more hunger than that roll, so I guess I'm just rolling hunger. Nope. Nothing. No successes.
You feel almost like an anesthetic effect, numbness, similar to when you bed down for the day. You can hear Michael's voice saying, "You'll be okay. We're going to save you, son. We're going to save you." As everything sort of becomes dark.
Saving.
And we cut to the sun is set. The next night has come about. Ruby, Dimitri, where in the hotel did you stay? Did you stay up in the room with Abby, or did you retire to the chambers in the basement?
Once Dimitri gave the all clear, I went in and told him about the accommodations that Howard provided us in the basement.
I think after everything that happened, I think right after it was done, Dimitri just probably, like, dropped to the floor where he was. I don't think there's anything besides that.
Okay.
So he probably just passed away literally where he stood.
All right.
So Dimitri, you're an early riser. Well, you both are actually. But you come to shortly after sunset, and you can see Abby is there, sort of like hovering over your face, like examining you almost. Her eyes have changed. They're kind of like a amber orange color now. You can see the change has taken effect over the course of the day. And when she sees your eyes open, she kind of takes a step back. And
Is it in my
says,
head or something?
"Thought you were dead. I guess."
Funny.
Yeah, sorry about all the Louis jokes. I guess you're more of the Armand type, huh?
You should really reread those books if you think that's the truth. I told that woman she didn't get my likeness correct, but history said and done, I guess. And he kind of like composes himself and wipes like the tear streaks off his face.
She says, "You can't be serious."
Well, maybe after all this, I can show you my signed copy from her, Miss Rice herself.
I'd love to see that. But, there's, I'm hungry.
Yeah, that is a thing.
How do you deal with that?
We will help you learn. Well, I suppose you're my problem. But before anything, I need you to swear to your unlife one thing and one thing only. What happened last night, you will never speak to anyone about it, ever. Or I swear I will make sure the existence you have now is one you wish you regretted asking for.
Roll manipulation, intimidation. Should be 5 dice for you.
That is so bad. That's 2 successes.
She says, "Don't worry, I'll keep your secret." So, now we go? Where's Ruby?
Probably somewhere. This
If I had
hotel.
seen that Dimitri had like passed out there, I would have like put him on the bed and then
Covered him with a blanket.
Well, maybe not. She's not that motherly. And look at Abby and just sit down, pointing to a chair, shut up, and wait for us.
So,
actually, I don't know if she's actually conscious at this point yet.
Yeah, she would have been sort of in the throes of death. So she doesn't really have much memory of that. But
Okay.
do need both of you to make rouse checks.
Passed.
Okay.
Pass.
All right.
Skinny bitch life. I'm telling you, it's never gonna happen.
So, Ruby, you ascend back to the room, and you find Dimitri and Abby in mid-conversation. She's clearly finished with the change.
Yep.
And you can see the look of hunger in her eyes as she sort of like sees you approach and says, "Oh, there she is."
Giving her kind of a wide berth, walking over to Dimitri. You good?
It's done. I'd rather leave it at that. We gotta find Benji, but there's a couple things we need to do first. Problem one, well, he looks over to Abby. I'm sure you remember those first few nights.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose that's first, and then I think afterwards we need to go pay a certain somebody a visit if we're going to do this and do it right.
Okay.
She says, "You guys had a stash of like blood bags in your little cave, right? I mean, does that work? Is that good enough? If I can do that, then I mean, that's fine by me."
Scared to get a little blood on your hands?
I don't want to kill anyone.
No one said anything about killing. That's where those silly little books of yours mislead you. We are... And he sighs really deeply. Not all monsters. Just creation of destiny, fate, whatever you want to believe in.
I don't know what I believe in anymore.
Best to find something. You'll have a long time to figure it out.
Well, should we go? Sun's down.
Night's early, You said we have to check on old bastard anyways. See
Yeah.
how that lazy dog is.
She riding with you?
Yeah, she's my problem after all.
I've got a car. I mean, well, I might have to get rid of that.
Best you stay away from anything legally registered to you for now, in case your little friends come back to check on you.
It's a good point. Oh, I'm gonna have to fake my death. This is all a lot.
It's not all the glitz and glamour you thought it'd be, huh?
I don't feel sparkly.
Taking her by the shoulder, kind of like directing her towards the door. It's all right. We know people. Walking out.
And so the three of you get on the two bikes.
Mhm.
And where do you head? Back to the shelter?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta tend to the business there first.
All right. So you make your way back down Essex Street, around the block. Park your bikes in the alley. Doesn't seem like anything's changed since you were last here, Ruby, as far as you can tell. But Dimitri, as you enter the bomb shelter, you can see the trail of blood. You can see on every single step where on the right side where Obi's claws dug into the concrete, tore away at it as he tried to climb halfway up the stairs. And down there, lying in his bed, not moving when you first approach. But then you see the nose twitch, and the head sort of lolls over and looks in your direction, and you can see him sort of start to wiggle a little bit.
And he kind of runs a hand through his hair. Man, that sick bastard shoot a dog. And he'll kneel beside him. I'm sure you did your best though, buddy. Right?
He kind of looks up at you, sort of like half sleepily, sort of like licking his tongue out towards you.
Yeah, I know. Let's fix you up, huh? Get you back to your former self?
Ruby's making sure that Abby watches this whole thing.
She is, with great concern.
And Dimitri will reach into his pocket and probably pull out one of those small flip knives. Just a quick cut against his upper arm to get it going before.
Go ahead and make a rouse check for me.
I want to make sure that's the right color. That's a failure. We are no longer on the skinny bitch diet. I was talking too much shit earlier.
Okay, so you gain a point
Back
of
to
hunger.
2 besties. I just erased it.
As you use your vitae to heal your ghoul. And you can tell it's taking hold. He's a little bit more lively. You can start to see his back legs sort of start to twitch. But you could tell he could use more healing than this. But it's your choice to let him heal on his own or give him another boost.
I mean, he's gonna boost, and this is his dog.
Okay, make another rouse check.
That's another fail. It's worth
Alright.
it though. It's for old bastard, man.
You're at hunger 3. And finally you see the tail start to wag, and he sort of stands up and starts licking your face.
Ah, you stupid dog. Despite how big of a pain in the ass you are, I guess I love you too. And he's like petting him and all that.
And he sort of like walks in a circle around you, sniffing you, and then he goes over and starts walking in a circle around Ruby and Abby, sniffing them. Then he just heads for the door and starts trotting up the stairs, whining.
Think he is maybe onto something here.
Maybe. Going to the storage room, grabbing a couple bags and throwing them at Abby.
So I just, I guess
Yep.
she sort of pops one open and kind of starts spilling a little bit of blood on herself and starts messily slurping it up. She drains one bag pretty quickly, and then the second one she figures out the right way to do it, and opens it up and drains that one pretty quickly. She's like, "It's cold.
Mm-hmm.
It almost doesn't taste like anything. That's weird. But I can feel it. It's doing something."
Oh, if it wasn't in the
Doing
bag, it would
something.
taste better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. She says, so I guess the quicker we move, the faster we'll get him back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Going into my room, I'm gonna grab. I think I still have a 9mm or something from somewhere. Can't remember where I
Something from
grabbed it from.
somewhere.
So yeah, I'm gonna grab that. Yeah, I've got a 9mm. I'm gonna make sure I have my knife and my baton.
Abby checks her holstered pistol, and then she opens up her bag, and there's a small, sort of like reinforced hard plastic case that she clicks open, and there's two heavy, sort of high-tech looking semi-automatic pistols in there. She takes one and holsters it, and she says, "I've got two of these. These are, I mean, they'll fire any 45 round, but they're designed to fire these." And she holds up a sort of chunky 45 caliber bullet. Sort of has a red ring around the casing. She says, these are meant to kill us, so they deal quite a bit of damage. Try to fire these from a regular 45, it'll blow up in your hands. But I've got a second one of these if one of you wants it.
Dimitri's the shooter.
I suppose that solves that problem then. And he'll accept the secondary handgun.
All right, so you get a heavy hunter pistol.
Now,
And she says, "Careful where you shoot it. That'll start a fire."
I think I can handle a little flame, but there's someone I should ask for. And God, I'm gonna hate doing this. Why don't we reconvene at the hotel? There's somebody I have to go see really fast, and for Benji's sake, I think maybe there's a strength in numbers. We don't really know what we're going up against, but if we're going to go in guns a-blazing, we're best having as many as we can on our side.
I can tell you right now, there's two other agents like me. I don't know their names. Mr. Doe and Mr. Doe. They'll be packing weaponry like this. And their leader is Michael. He's a dork. He's a youth pastor. But he's got... I'll tell you right now, he's not going to try to kill Benji. He's going to try to save him. They've got some sort of cocktail of drugs, as well as kind of like Jesus camp for vampires. It's weird. It's weird, man. But they've been rounding up the what do you call them? Duskborn. And it seems to work on some of them. Not all of them, though. I don't know if how many other kindred they've tried it on.
Well,
But I think the faster we act, the better the chances.
this won't take long, but if what you're saying is true, this would definitely be up his alley, and maybe could shed a bit more light on whatever their sick idea of salvation is. If you think I'm Louis, well, you have yet to meet my older brother.
She kind of looks over at Ruby and looks back at you and says, "Okay then. So we'll meet you back at the hotel."
Yeah. I think it's best I handle this one alone.
I'm gonna
things.
talk to Howard. Maybe he can rally some more troops.
He's a bit of a shy guy, but he does run that hotel. Can't hurt
Mr.
to ask.
Phillips,
Mm-hmm.
he
Oh,
did seem like an odd one.
are you really surprised? Don't answer that question. You'll learn soon enough that we are everywhere. And have been for a very, very long time.
All right, then. So, Ruby, you head back to...
Yeah, I'm gonna take Abby back to the hotel.
mhm.
Dimitri, is old bastard going with you, or is he staying here?
I'm gonna take old bastard with me.
Okay.
Because he seems to want to go out anyways.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's
So,
my dog.
Mm-hmm.
you and Abby arrive back at the hotel.
Okay. Park and go up to Howard's apartment and knock at the door.
Um, the door slowly opens, and you can see him sort of standing there to greet you. He says, "Miss Eastman, Ms. Sharp, what can I do for you this evening?"
Howard, we need your help. Someone named Michael has taken Benji and might try to save him. Do you know anything about that, or can you get in touch with anyone who could help us?
He says, "My whole reason for coming here is because they wouldn't leave me alone in Providence. No. You're the one who started the council. I think if you're going to rally the troops, you might be the best one to do so. I only have a few friends in town, as you know."
Okay. If you can think of anyone, you want to give them a shout, let them know what's up, I would appreciate that. But I guess I'll go through my Rolodex.
He says, "If you're looking for my help, I am not great in a fight."
Oh, no, I didn't mean for you to come with us. If you know anybody who would be good in a fight.
Oh, don't you have a young trio, that coterie of Bruja, working for
I
you?
do. In all of this mess, I forgot about them.
Perhaps give them a call. They seem to be more of the muscly type. Most of the folks I know are artists and weirdos.
Thank you for your counsel.
And
Take
Dimitri.
Abby.
Mhm.
Gonna take Abby back to her room and dial the shop and tell them to come to the Hawthorne.
Okay.
We're gonna,
Yeah,
that
Drew,
line from the
Drew
town.
answers and
We're gonna hurt some people. You can't ask questions.
she says, "Just point us in the right direction, boss."
Yep, we'll do.
Real ones.
Meanwhile, Dimitri, you're rolling through the woods of Danvers into Middleton, presumably heading to see your brother.
He's got old bastard in the sidecar with him.
You come to an idling stop at the gates of your brother's estate. And after a moment, it swings open.
He'll wind up the driveway like usual. Kind of looking over the old bastard. You know, haven't really had the best relationship with him over the years, but God, this is gonna suck, huh?
As you crest the hill to the front of his abode, you see Leon there waiting for you, just like last time. And he says, "Did you come to see the roses again, brother? They're in bloom now."
No, this isn't just a casual visit this time. It's
I did have a feeling I'd be seeing you one of these days. What is it? About now? 200 years or so?
You were always one to keep track of the dates, now weren't you?
I
And
can't help
only,
it.
100-something years since you turned away and left me to... Never mind. We're not here to talk about the past. I am here to ask for your assistance with something.
Anything, brother.
And as he tries to remain composed, it's just becoming more clear. His form is tensing, and all he can hear is the thick chains rattling in his head, the screaming of 200 years combined. And as he steps up to approach, he is shaking. His hands are balled into fists, and he glares towards his similar image. You don't have the right to call me your brother. And by gods, if I didn't care for the one person I would consider true family, I wouldn't be bothering to show my face here. 200 years. Over 100 of those left alone, terrified, in pain. And not once did you bother to reach out. I'm here to ask you to be a brother for once. And just for once, be the brother I need to help save a brother that I've made. And just maybe, you will find an ulterior motivation. They're using some sort of concoction of drugs and Christian bullshit to turn Kindred back human.
That's impossible.
That's what the
Once you're
rumor
dead, you're dead.
says.
Well, if there's anything I can do to atone for the way I wronged you, the way I abandoned you, you have me.
Hawthorne Hotel. Get there as soon as possible. We are gathering whoever can fight and or assist. We
And
have
shall
no
I
idea.
bring my pets?
Perhaps it wouldn't be a bad idea. And maybe, just maybe, this could be the beginning to that new beginning.
Says, all right then, Hawthorne Hotel. I'll be there. I'll go and get the van.
And he'll turn back, but he'll hesitate. You know, it was only 4 years ago you hit your bicentennial. Or 200 years being alive, I suppose. Or whatever this is. Doesn't get any easier, huh?
No. Never does. You just learn how to deal with it. Try to manage the beast without becoming it. That's all we can do.
Well, we gotta go slay a different beast. Benji's a good kid. And if I know anything, despite it all, he wouldn't want this. So let's go kick some ass, I suppose.
I'll be right there behind you.
He'll nod, give like a gestured hand before whistling the old bastard to follow him back to Bella before embarking back onto the road.
After Ruby gets off the phone with the rest of her clan, she's gonna call Kit, the gangrel.
Okay.
And when he picks up, like, hey, you around? You doing anything?
Oh. I was wondering when I was gonna hear from you, Ruby. I could be persuaded. Why? What's up?
Some asshole took Benji, and we're going to get him back.
Are you fucking serious?
Mm-hmm.
Shit, man. All right. Tell me where. I'll grab Ronnie.
All right. Well, we're meeting at the Hawthorne. If you're too far away, I'll look at Abby and ask her for the address of whatever that shelter is.
Excuse me. Yeah, she'll give you the address. He says, "All right, we can be at the Hawthorne in 15 minutes."
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, but you owe me one.
Okay.
Is there anyone else that either of you want to contact? Any other preparations you want to make?
I mean, if
No.
we really wanted to get crazy, we could go get Trudy. Yeah. She's crazy. I mean, we've already seen her go like Terminator mode in Hawthorne, so. But I don't know if I would trust her around Abby.
There is,
Kindred or
of
not.
course, House Goratrix, your other neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but those guys were assholes. Fuck
Yeah.
those guys.
Like, not really fighters per se.
Tremere, though, can get a lot done.
I was gonna say maybe Adam. Adam seems like kind of a chill guy. He's maybe a bit more interested in the whole like weird occulty thing going on, so like it could be an in for him to get in there because maybe he'll be more knowledgeable.
Maybe, but isn't he a toreador?
Mm-hmm.
Not quite a fighter.
Listen, there's a lot.
He's
A
a
lot of clans.
painter.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah, but he knows some stuff.
okay. I'll
like-
give him a call.
Okay.
See.
He knows Locke too.
Yeah.
That's true. You call up Adam. Hey, Ruby. What's up?
Hey, I need your help. I need people to help with a retrieval mission.
Retrieval mission? What do you mean?
Yeah. Benji got taken and we need to get him back.
Taken? Like,
Yes.
what do you, like abducted?
Yes. He was bleeding. I'm assuming they staked him because there was a stake in our dog.
Oh, shit.
And yeah, we need to get him back. Do you have phone numbers for the others that maybe people can come here, or do you know anybody else I can call?
We're looking at a frontal assault situation?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little, beyond my experience, but communication, talking to people, I can see who's available, where
Okay.
and when.
Within the next half hour, the Hawthorne Hotel, and I'll give him the room number.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
All right, good luck.
Hang up. Okay. We got people coming.
I'm gonna, as Dimitri's like assumedly pulling up to Hawthorne Hotel, he's gonna send a quick text to Father Varos. And Abby only specified the first name, Michael, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna ask, what do you know about a young youth pastor named Michael in the area?
Let him make a roll for that.
God, I love allergies.
He says, I don't know the man personally, but I've heard of Reverend Michael. It's a Baptist minister, I believe. I think he's the one that set up the old Baptist church hall as an orphanage recently. Why do you need to know?
Well, it's a long story. I'll have to explain later, Father, but let's just say, if you hear any news about that orphanage, I'd ask you to abstain from making any assumptions until we could later discuss.
Understood. You sure you know what you're doing, Dimitri?
There's one thing I'm sure of. I have to save my brother.
Well, Godspeed.
And hopefully Godspeed brings me back to you.
And about that time, Dimitri, you find yourself regrouping at the Hawthorne Hotel. You can see there's quite a gathering. You see the 3 bikes of Ruby's sort of younger coterie that she sort of mentors. And shortly following behind you is a black sort of like box truck van driven by your brother with God knows what in the back. As everyone's sort of gathering outside of the hotel and sort of recognizing each other and making their way in. A couple more bikes pull up, and you see the 2 Gangrel, Kit and Ronnie. They sort of give you a nod. And over the next few minutes, sort of everyone gathering in Abby's room starts to get crowded. Eventually you see sort of appear in the corners a trio of Nosferatu, Felicity, Danny Bones, and Gator.
Nice.
My favorite genders.
And let me make a roll for it. And last to arrive is Gabriel Locke and Gertrude Kleiner.
Ooh.
God damn, we got the Terminator too.
And
Put the
Locke
ball
sort
out.
of peeks his head into the room, seeing that there's not much room to stand, and says, "Someone told me there was trouble afoot."
There is.
Tell us, how can we be of assistance?
We have to invade a local orphanage. Because, well, according to inside knowledge, they're running sort of kindred revolution. Supposedly, they're promising salvation and a return to mortal life through whatever disgusting means they're doing. But what brings us all together is they've taken one of our own. And we ask that you all give us your assistance in bringing Benji back. And perhaps putting an end to whatever godforsaken cult is formed.
Go ahead, Dimitri, and roll charisma and persuasion. It's going to be 7 dice for you.
Yeah, 3 hunger dice, so we'll see how that goes. That's 1 success. Exactly.
Do you have any willpower to reroll?
I think I have exactly 1.
Tough choice. Sort of the gathered throng of kindred all sort of murmur to each other. And Gabriel Locke speaks up. He says, "How do you know who took him and where? Are we dealing with the Second Inquisition here?" And Abby sort of speaks up and says, "I keep hearing people referring to that. They call themselves the Co-op, but they're real. I know where they are. I know where they've got them. And Gabriel kind of takes a look at Miss Sharp, and he says, "And why am I not surprised that we have a new addition?"
Consider it an insurance policy. She's in the same boat as us. So there's no threat that there'll be a loose end considering this one. And well, any problems arise when I suppose I have to take responsibility for her as she's my problem.
Very well. Let's make sure you keep this one on a leash. But we're here. We're gathered. Might as well lead the way.
If we're all ready.
Gonna rattle off the address in case anyone gets lost or.
Alright, so everyone makes their way back out of the room. Sizable gathering of local kindred. And you all head towards the address. The small church hall in Peabody, just a few miles away. And you all gather sort of maybe a block away from the location. Full force of various kindred. You've been able to pull together Leon Valatieri, Gabriel Locke, and Trudy from House Goratrix, Kit and Ronnie from Clan Gangrel, as well as a representation of the Nosferatu. And as you all gather to make your assault, that is where we will end our game tonight.
Okay.
Craziness. Crazy.
Nice game, guys.
We have a little bit of a post-game ritual that we do, where we dole out the XP based on a few factors. We kind of like to do it communally. So everyone gets one experience for showing up, one experience for playing, one experience for surviving. And let's go around and talk about some standout moments. Who deserves a little bit extra for some extra roleplay moments or useful tactics?
I could die happy. The one thing, my secret agenda has been accomplished. I have unlocked boyfriend Dante. That's in the books. And I can die happy now. I'm living out one of my dreams.
You could add Dante as a lore sheet if you want.
Yes.
On your character sheet.
Yes. Gonna have to. I had this picture predestined and I'm like, I'm gonna make this happen. One way or another, we will riz our way through a preacher.
That was a good moment.
Preacher question
I
mark.
agree.
Preacher question. Hey, he's wearing the outfit. Close enough,
Yeah,
right?
But
We
is
were
he
in
really?
a chapel.
You saw
Yeah,
the weird eyes
he-
for a second.
Details, schmetails. Dimitri doesn't care.
So you get the point for romance.
Hey, my man deserves it.
Also very much appreciated Ruby's scene with Nines. That was very cool, getting that cameo, but also like Ruby handling that like
A boss.
Hey, whatever. It's just Nines Rodriguez.
Mhm.
Boss. Girl boss energy, for real.
Mhm, yeah.
He's my grandsire. Yeah.
Been a few decades, but whatever. It's just grandpa.
Hey, granddad. Hopping around the neighborhood.
Yeah, that was cool though.
I think you handled that scene very well. I think you had a lot of good emotional role play tonight. Go ahead and take a point for that scene.
I think Benji's reaction to, like, no longer being paralyzed and just the initial freak out was really just great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we definitely saw the
It was
Benji panic.
it was very true to, like, what I would
And like
see happening.
a specific trauma that he's been through is captivity. So
Mhm.
yeah, that was
Harkening back to the embrace.
to the embrace exactly.
I liked how you guys sort of split up to rally the troops. I think Dimitri and Ruby each get a point for rallying the troops, and extra point to Benji for standing by, not getting a ton of screen time tonight.
To me, Benji's the unifying reason, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's plot reason, of course, yeah. I wanted to get through that scene before the break, but we had some technical difficulties.
I am sorry. I don't know what happened to my computer.
It's okay,
I need
it
to get
happens.
the battery changed, I think.
But if that's it, thank you all so much for joining us tonight for our vampire story. I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys had a lot of fun.
This was
This was
a lot.
great.
Great episode, yeah. Thank you.
I hope everyone watching had a lot of fun. Might be a little confusing, kind of in media res. But extra special shout out to our producers working in the background through the technical difficulties. Thank you so
Normally
much.
muted, but hello.
And special shout out to Montaigne and to the Hills siblings, Joe and Quinn, for permission to use some of their music. Yeah, we'll see you all next time.
Night.